Here we go. Y'all can't hear my music?
We live, baby. Let's go, Jones. We live, baby.
Hold tight, black man. Hey,
how's your wig is?
This ain't no, this, hold on. This ain't no wig, cause
why won't let me share it?
yeah, and y'all getting double feedback.
I ain't on there.
Hey y'all. Production is having technical issues. So we back at it again. Where is Tania? We got Wes, we got me, Ebony J, we got Ed, we got Liz, and we got Kenny.
What up, Al?
What's up, Drake?
Hey.
We do the same thing every Sunday. So without further ado, do we want to wait a minute?
No. 4 minutes later already.
Wes, it'll be all right.
And I'm still watching the funeral.
You might as well put that on like record or something.
Put it on pause.
Y'all know how we do. We're gonna start off with our current events. Shock G. I used to call him Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
He has passed at the age of 57. He used to, I know him from being with Tupac, and I know him from the movie Nothing But Trouble. Y'all remember that movie?
Drake X Funeral still on BET or BET on YouTube.
Who?
Yeah, John Candy, Digital Underground, Janine Moore, all that. That was a funny movie.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen it.
You never seen Nothing But Trouble?
I don't think I have either.
Oh, y'all ain't lived till y'all seen that.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Y'all is slipping.
That's a classic.
I'm gonna have to look.
Liz, you ain't had cable?
I just don't remember. I don't remember that movie.
Man, it's a great movie. Him and Tupac is in there. Rest in peace, Shock G died at the age of 57. They haven't said how he passed, but it's still so unfortunate. It's like we losing some legends. They say death come in threes though. So again, rest in peace to him, his family. Our prayers are with them. And where is my damn taxes at? The girl has been, I ain't getting that much back, but where is my money? Why ain't these taxes? Ain't all these people working from home? All you gotta do is my money.
Some of them probably quit to get to do the PPPs and the PUAs.
Right.
Oh, that's what we need to talk about. Let me tell you, girls, something, and the boys. If you went out and got an LLC in 2021, talking about you done made 70,000, you going to jail. So don't you put no goddamn GoFundMe's up there because we ain't got it, shit.
Right.
That one girl got 3,200 back so far.
Who?
That one chick.
32,000.
100.
She ain't got no money then.
I know, but it's the point.
No, he's saying she raised 1,300 on her GoFundMe.
Oh, okay.
They really giving her money?
Yeah.
They want to do on their money, remember?
But you didn't did fraud on your taxes, and now you need help, sis. You wasn't donate none of that money, but now you want me to go fund you?
People doing it though.
Yeah, and I'm telling y'all, tax people will change your Schedule C. If you don't want to go to jail and you know it's not liable, maybe they won't catch you. If they don't, get off. But just know that you could be caught and you may face some jail time.
Hey, Black Convo should do a GoFundMe page.
We should. Send us something. And we got merch by Black Convo's mug.
Should do one.
Got to put mine in there.
We entertaining. every weekend. Let's do it.
You said you got to pay for his services.
No, I ain't saying that. Just look out for upcoming black service.
Drake talking about he donated 1,000. You bet not. Send us 1,000.
And I got some hot commodities on deck for the men, the women, the kids.
Oh, what up, boy?
Nigga look like Wesley Snipes.
So check out hot commodities. Yeah, where you catch her on Instagram, Facebook. Wesley Snipes.
Check out Miss Allen. The glasses is dope. She got her husband over there like Wesley though.
Yeah, and Hot Commodity is a sponsor of Black Convo, so and LA Cookbook, so check out Hot Commodity and Tony Sanders collection.
All right, so we got Kevin Samuels. He didn't call Sweetie a 6. And
you put some respect on his name. His name Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels, the nigga with the suits and the candles and all the tools and shit. He called Sweetie a 6. He said, because if she ain't had that makeup, she wouldn't look like nothing. Well, if you didn't wear nice suits, you wouldn't either, Mr. Samuels.
Why you got to cover him, though?
Because why he always got to when he gets like a pretty nigga. Oops.
See what I'm saying? You got to take a self-evaluation, be real with yourself. Some of y'all think y'all talented or not.
Some of y'all think y'all talented and ain't even move the meter. Like, come on, man.
Some of these dudes need boyfriends.
He was speaking the truth. That's the problem. Everybody don't want to hear the truth.
As if he is 10. He not a 10. He questionable.
He didn't say he wasn't 10.
No, he might not be a 10, but it be people calling there talking to him and saying some crazy stuff. Yeah, I want a man with money and blah blah blah. Then he'll ask you where you work. Oh, I work at McDonald's. How many kids you got? I got 4, 3 different baby daddies. And he tell you the truth. He tell you what most men is willing to tell y'all. So just listen.
Like I said, he questionable.
I agree with some of the stuff he say, and I've said it before, and it wasn't popular. Like you dating your class, I agree, but he go too hard. Like, are you act like you don't like your mama, and you got an issue with women is the way he talk. Like, why you so hard on women?
Because he questionable.
You need a boyfriend.
He probably taking a D on the weekends. That nigga questionable.
Not he taking it up.
Taking it.
The first man that hold women accountable, now he gay. Come on, man. He just saying you ain't about to just sneak in. And I've seen some 21 Savage saying too, because a lot of women be saying that, be thinking that, he was just 21 Savage was just saying like, when a lot of women be asking for a man with money, but let a black woman who got some money, she don't look at a broke dude like man look at broke women. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes, and he was saying like sometimes they want to make reservations for another person's life. Make reservations for yours.
I'm just saying he called that lady a football player and said hut hut hut.
He overly opinionated.
But she's an old lineman or a linebacker.
He said she said I weigh 250. He said I weigh 235.
Oh, yeah. You about Ray Lewis.
That's what he said. And he said hut hut hut.
See, he had to say all that.
Right, that's too much. Come on.
But like Greg said, man, women go hard on men all the time.
Huh?
So
I mean, but we not the same. Again, you want to put on a dress and some red lipstick. Women and men are not the same. And once listen, it's a certain type of thing. A man is visual. And he loves a woman. He talking about this like he's like a football player. Like, why are you so aggressive? Like, we are meant to be a little more snappy and all that. Like, you giving me girl vibes. You want to put on a skirt?
Yeah.
All he did is try to have a conversation with certain women, and
he making me. I ain't hating. He getting paid. Get a little check for being a troll.
Exactly.
Damn. He called her.
I'm sorry. He's still questionable, but he entitled to his own opinion.
Why he questionable though?
Because you see how he dressed. You see something.
How he dressed? Does he wear Taylor suits?
Yeah, he like a woman basher.
You said how he dressed though. He wear Taylor.
Yeah, he got a couple pictures. I'm like, yeah, he definitely.
No, y'all just don't real man.
No, you know what it is?
No, you don't dress.
What it is they fit the category of some of the women they be talking about, so they don't like them.
I
That's what it
understand
is.
like him. He entitled to his own opinion, but he just do
But
too much.
Jones always said, his dog a holler.
You hear me?
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
He blunt.
Nah, we came trying to be nice and stuff and tell y'all we tried to sneak it in and all that. Nah, man, come to y'all straight blunt like that. Now y'all can't take it.
My man ain't sugarcoat. He just going straight in, telling y'all what it is, and y'all get mad about it.
I'm not mad. He's entitled to his own opinion. Ain't nobody
Women need
mad.
to take that shit in the dust.
Ain't nobody mad.
You gotta be mad if that what that man say don't have no credence to you, then you shouldn't be upset.
I'm not upset at all. I just said he's overly opinionated. And
It
he's
ain't about being mad if you.
And it's a lot.
I'm not saying he's questionable because I'm mad. I'm saying he's questionable because he's questionable.
Why you gotta be mad if you got an opinion about something?
But why you gotta be gay because he has something to say about a woman?
Yeah, but I said how he look and everything. I ain't say just because he has something to say. I'm putting all the above, the little fanny packs he be wearing, and nobody got time for that.
He do be pretty.
He do extra pretty. I'm like, no, he questionable.
Y'all sound crazy, man.
Go ahead and buy you a fanny pack.
Right, because we don't agree with him. We sound crazy.
No, it ain't about the fanny pack. It's about the message he be speaking for a lot of men too, though. That's the real thing about him.
I agree with some of the stuff, a lot of stuff he say, but he just go too hard. You a man. You don't supposed to be that hard on
no woman. He being real. That's the problem. I don't want nobody real with y'all.
Anyway,
it's not for being real. Like I said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Hey man, nigga said you got 4 kids. He don't want you.
I ain't mad at him. That's his opinion.
You got 4 kids. You work at McDonald's, but you thought you want a millionaire. What?
But when I say that about the man, y'all like a gold digger.
Right.
When I said you got a date in your class, it was this big thing. So you ain't gonna take nobody and do.
Yep. He's all over the place. He don't know whose side he gonna be on.
It ain't no side. I'm all about reality. Like that man telling the truth to some of this shit.
So why when Ebony said it's an issue, but if Kevin said it's not an issue?
You know what I'm saying? What Jones don't say it like some of these women that be on there be talking. Jones got it together.
Blah 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 blah.
Oh, that's the thing. That's all y'all hear when the man talking is blah blah blah. That's why he be dogging them like that because they need to hear.
He did.
I bet you they go home and look in the mirror like, yeah, I do like a linebacker. I bet you did go to home and went like, man, I do like a linebacker.
Nope.
Man, I might need to
I'm gonna look in the mirror.
No, hold on. Oh, girl called in. He asked a simple question. He said, "How old are you?" She said, "How old do I look?" He hung up on her and said, "These nuts." That's what you look like. That was her fault, though.
I don't get it.
You talking about, huh? These nuts.
How do I look? Like a goddamn slip.
Anyway, next, Kevin Samuels, you got some supporters up here. Listen, I agree with a lot of what you say, but you just be really going in. You told that lady, hut, hut, hut. I said that was too much.
He already told you like a linebacker. He ain't had to add no.
It look like Patrick Willis though.
You said what?
Hut, 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 though?
Yeah.
Brandy said that man is full of personal opinions that he passes on as fact. I can't even watch him.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm a chill.
Let's move on.
Look, they sit up here and watch Wendy Williams all that. This man get on. He gets to telling the truth. Now he gay.
Wendy Williams don't get no pass.
Oh, he don't know how to dress. He's dressed weird because he got on a 3-piece suit. Come on, man.
We ain't talking about his 3-piece suits.
Man, I'm a chill.
Yeah, I'm a chill. Because this could go all night.
Right. Next, the draft pick. Les, this you.
Yeah, this was rest in peace to Terrence Clark. He was a freshman at Kentucky, and like he was going to be projected like a top 15 pick, but he was killed in a car accident this past week, leaving from a workout. And the guy he was working out with, one of his friends and teammates, was like driving behind him. And I don't know, he was just in an accident and died from it. And, you know, for him being a young 19-year-old black kid, you know, he probably come from humble beginnings where he probably was just trying to, anytime someone 19 years old, 18, 19, finish their freshman year and declare for the draft, they know that they're going to be most likely a high draft pick and know they're going to make some money. And I'm pretty sure he wanted to probably help out his family and stuff like that. And, maybe they was probably looking towards him, being an NBA player, not just for the money, but something that he achieved that was a dream of his. So for him to die at 19 in a car accident and he was going to be a promising prospect, it's kind of sad. So rest in peace to Terrence Clark.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. That is quite tragic, but
it's sad, man.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Hey, Tania.
Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Don't be tardy for the party. Oh.
Not your pay, yo.
Shut up.
All right, y'all. Now let's dig in.
Y'all ain't got today you ain't got no other topics to talk about from this week? Or are you good?
Some will pop up. I'm good right now.
I just want to throw it. So yesterday, they did the memorial for DMX. I don't know if y'all caught it, but it was projected to start at 4:00. Then 4:30 came, they said 5:00. Then 5 came, they said 5:10. It ended up starting at like 6, but I thought it was phenomenal. They had a lot of people come up and speak on them. Swiss Beats came up and kept it all the way real. I don't know if any of y'all caught it, but he said this man needed everybody when he was here. And not everybody want to show up now that he's not here. And he also said, continue to learn to celebrate each other while we're here, not, in passing. And just go back to everybody ain't your friends. They come around you when it's beneficial. When you see friends or people that you call friends struggling or, not even just struggling, just reach out to people, say what's up. Because I hate for it to be a time where you only see your friends at funerals. Rest in peace to one of my childhood friends that I lost from my block. We call him Mick from the block. He got killed the other night, but I just saying rest in peace to him, But yeah, love on people while they're here, man. For those y'all caught the DMX funeral that's still going on right now, I think they did a good job. They sent my guy off right, man. Once again, long live X.
Can you talk about dark skin, Nick?
Nah.
Oh,
you don't know him. He's younger than us.
Oh.
And someone from the North End, I believe his name started. I can't remember his name, but rest in peace. He touched a lot of people on the North End from what I can see. So rest in peace and prayers for him and his family. And anybody who lost somebody this year or dealt with anything, prayers with you. Keep your head up. It by and by it'll get better. So let's dig into this topic. We want to talk about bridging the gap and I guess we would say the Black communities between the police and the civilian. Police interactions. Where are we at with all of this? Like, it's just been a whole lot going on with it. I think the media has saturated say that way. You don't have to close on. Has saturated our opinions about a lot of things. And let's just dig into it. Liz, Nia, what y'all got?
I'm a long talker, so somebody can go before me.
Go ahead, Liz.
The thing about it is, looking at, bridging the gap, I need to understand what does bridging the gap, what's the definition of bridging the gap? Because if it's us just being Black and these things keep happening with just Black people and brown people, how can you bridge the gap when, the country, the country looking on TV every day and seeing the same thing? So when you see it in a different city, it seems like it get closer and closer to home. Because even though George Floyd killer Derek Chauvin was convicted this week, and we still wait for what his sentence is gonna be, but an hour or two later, a young lady in Ohio gets killed. And then like a day or two later, a guy in North Carolina get killed by the police. So it's like, you know, people saying, oh, we should be celebrating, you know, the George Floyd conviction, but it didn't even feel like, you know, we won anything. It didn't even feel like justice because one out of what, a million? Or one out of some of these cases, I'm not saying, and that's the thing too, because it goes both ways, but you're supposed to be able to protect and serve. And I felt like your last resort should be using a gun. And in the most times when I've been seeing people say, well, they need to do right by the police. I don't see dudes comply and still you'll get killed. So until we start seeing some changes within the system, because a lot of these laws protect police officers. If you want to serve a search warrant, the first thing I feel like a person should at least get their chance in court. They shouldn't be sentenced to death as soon as they run up in your house or something because some of these officers are scared. Some of these officers ain't from our neighborhood. Some of these officers ain't grow up how we grew up. So they want to understand, you know, how we live on a day-to-day, especially the hoods and the ghettos around the United States. And when we try to bridge the gap, we've been doing a lot. And for police, they say, well, y'all need to help, you know, the community need to help us sometimes. Like with the not snitching rule, you want people to snitch, you know, when someone do something bad, but are you holding your police officers, your partners and stuff accountable when they do some fucked up shit? Are you snitching on them? Right. So in order for that, we, you know, cops have to regain trust in these neighborhoods because it's some, granted, we know it's some bad people out here, but it's some people out here that, and that's why I say black people get a bad name because there's some cops that look at all us the same. It don't matter if I wear a suit or some hoop shorts that's sagging and shit like that. I could be, like I said, I've seen guys comply and still ended up dead. I don't think the police roll up on me and my homies before. Police roll up on me and Irv and Phil one night, Phil hanging outside my mama's house. This is the night Irv graduated from college. And the police rolled up on us with guns drawn. Oh, y'all fit the description. And I'm like, man, we just came back from my man. My man just graduated from college. You know, we happy for him. One wrong move, one of us would have been dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the bridging the gap shit gonna have to come with laws. It's gonna have to come with the government. It's gonna have to come with some of these cops holding their partners and they other co-workers responsible because the only thing that can probably change for us is being a different color. But we can't stop being black. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, it happens in the black and brown community because the shit that happened with the young lady on Tuesday, yeah, it could have been handled different, but damn, at least try tase, man.
Right.
At least she wasn't approaching you with, she approached someone else with a knife. Well, people talk, well, he saved somebody's life. But my thing is, she wasn't approaching you with a knife, so she should have been shot with a gun. Not 4 times, she should have at least been tased. Right. At least tased. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's up to the cops to be reaching out and trying to, you know, bring the communities together and stuff. Now on the other side.
So here's my thing with that. In a world full of people, whether you're not, go ahead.
I want to say on the other side, you can't be asking the police for help and we just killing the shit out of each other every day. You know, this shit works both ways. The only way black people got to bridge the gap with one another before we even try to bridge the gap with somebody else.
Yep.
Okay, I'm tired of people saying, well, we was put in these situations. Common sense tells you not to pull the trigger on the motherfucker. Like, come on, man, it's a better way we can deal with shit without having to get police involved. That young lady shouldn't have been dead. Where the fuck her parents at? And then I found out they foster parents. So now I want to know where the fuck the real parents at. Like, we gotta do better too. Like, we gotta bridge the gap between black people before we even reach out to try to build bridges with other motherfuckers. Because they already got in their head of who we are and how we is. So one person ain't gonna be missed if they shooting us like 2 times a week. We shooting each other every day, all day. Like, I just seen 3 18-year-olds dead on the east side over some dumb shit. They ain't even started life yet. So how the fuck we gonna try to reach out to the police and you reach out to motherfuckers who really don't know how to deal with black people? We the only ones that know how to deal with each other.
We don't.
Barely.
So that's the fucked up part. We gotta learn how to first save our community. And then on another thing is cops there has to be a lot of reform as far as like who are cops. You have to do deep background checks on these people. Some of these people who grew up in a house where their great-grandparents and grandparents taught them hate.
Mm-hmm.
They become cops. You got black cops, and it ain't even about the color, it's just about police, period. But like, you do have black cops, and you got cops, period, that grow up and that was bullied in high school and school and shit. Now they got a badge, they powerful. There's a lot of shit. And I ain't saying all cops are bad, but the good cops got to start holding the bad cops accountable, or it shit gonna get worse. So that's my thoughts on it. There's a lot more I can say about it, but that's where it really got to begin. Like it's gonna take a lot to build these bridges with the police and the communities again.
So
I just want to say, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say real quick though, like, it starts with us, and until we actually stand up and fight for something and come together as unity, then they're gonna keep treating us how they want to treat us. If we can't even treat each other right, what makes you think they're gonna have the dignity or the respect to come and treat you right if you can't even treat your own brother or sister right? Like, it's time to stop with the blaming and actually do something.
True. I mean, my bridging the gap thing is like, we can sit around and we can let the news saturate everything and make our opinion for us, but at the end of the day, we got to live together. We need law enforcement, or some people may think they don't, but if somebody breaking your house or is about to attack you, you're going to call the police, right? So my thing with that piece, we just got to live together and we got to hold some accountability on our side. My thing is, it's good and bad people. But I feel like we let the media, you can go back to Los Angeles, all the beatings and stuff like that, but we let the media run our emotions more than we look at logic, right? Mm-hmm. So even with the situation with the girl. Now let's first, no, we can go into that later. Let's start that situation. So none of us have ever been cops. None of us has ever sat in a seat and had that type of pressure or tension when you come into a situation. Yeah, we can say, well, you shouldn't be policing these neighborhoods, but until you sat in that seat and had that encounter, it's a lot we can say from just sitting here. First of all, from what I hear from the story, the lady called those girls over there, because whether they were her real kids or some more foster kids, that lady called those girls over there for that girl because she had been unruly all week. See, we don't get them parts. We just see the media say a cop shot another black girl and we running with it. Meanwhile, a kid just got killed in Chicago in the car with her dad, and I ain't seen nobody talk about that. I ain't seen no rallies. All we focus on is white cop black people right now. We can't even think logically because we so saturated with what the media has put out. Like, sometimes you got to think logically. Yes, he could have tased her. But from what I know, because I have cop family, you see a threat, whether it be him coming at her or her coming at him. Yeah, he could have tased her, but he's in his authority to shoot her. Because if he wouldn't, then it would have been, well, why he didn't shoot her? He let her stab that girl.
But four times.
Okay, where he shoot her at though?
We can look at the law reform and like, yeah, we need to change that.
They need to.
But as an officer,
you got to think about the training. They're not trained to shoot one time. I mean, they're trained to stop the threat.
The training is the problem.
That's what I'm
stop the threat.
That's a problem.
We let the media do it. I have cop parents, family members. They not trained to say, oh, let me dissect the situation. If you in a position and your adrenaline running, your first thought is not about to be to shoot somebody in the leg. Your first thought is going to be
they're not trained to shoot nobody in the leg. When they go to target practice, center mass is what you train in. This is what they train you to shoot at, center mass.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Like, they don't have that luxury of being able to say, I can do it this way. All you thinking about is to stop the threat, whether it be on the other person who I've been hired to protect, or I got to protect myself. Yes, it could have went another way, but my job is I got to shoot to kill, because my thing is, if she would have stabbed that girl up, then what would have been our conversation? Why
you arrest her ass and take her to jail.
Huh?
You arrest her and take her ass to jail if she stabs somebody. You tase her and you arrest her. You ain't got to shoot the little sister down like that. I'm tired of hearing black people got to do and all that. If I'm scared. They ain't never been in the pressure I've been under. I'm scared if I get pulled over, I'm gonna get shot. If I get arrested and the motherfucker shoot me, that's pressure. That's pressure. Pressure is being black than a motherfucker every day. So I'm tired of people saying the pressures of the police. The pressures of me.
That's my job.
He was a 15-year-old.
The job, they need to be retaught. They need to be retaught.
They be retaught.
I thought it was the leg.
Shot her in the leg. So she's a 15-year-old girl. This is a grown man. You telling me you couldn't be in that situation without shooting her 4 times?
Listen, again, and I understand what y'all saying. It's very unfortunate that young lady had to lose her life. But this is my job is to protect and serve. You want me to think about all this rationale when you hired me to do this job. I'm not saying he couldn't have did something different, but I have to preserve life and I have to calm the threat. He could have shot her. It could have went a whole bunch of different ways.
Preserve life and shooting the leg, not take a life.
Right.
When did she threaten him?
Look, all you gotta do is listen.
Hold on, Wes. Before you say that, one thing, I mean, I'm not saying how I feel either way about the situation. I keep my personal opinion about the whole situation myself. But what I want to say is, they don't, in the police academy, in the military, nowhere do they teach you to shoot somebody in the leg. So that doesn't pop up in your head as let me shoot this person in the leg. That's all I'm saying. People keep doing that, shoot them in the leg.
But she had said to him though, that's my question. She didn't charge him with the knife.
Les, go before you get. I say before you make.
It's not even about her. It's about all these other black people that you see behind me that's getting killed for no reason. That's the issue.
Right. Go.
From Malice Green to Rodney King, they've been killing them. That's a big issue. Why build the bridge with them?
Hey, real quick, I want to read Tanisha comment. Why do mass murderers always walk away?
Then who killed 7 people that take it to a Burger King?
Again,
he killed 7 people, went to a Burger King and got a Whopper, and then went to jail.
They apprehended him without killing him.
Right.
Listen, and again, I'm not bringing my personal opinions in it. Was he a threat to somebody else or himself or the cops when they encounter him? That crazy white boy threw his hands up. I'm saying in a situation when you're in the midst of a threat, again, we like to base stuff more off our emotions. And again, we can't compare what they did to George Floyd to what happened to that girl in Ohio. That's where it get murky and all this black.
I'm not even.
It's become one. I'm not about to mix a cop murdering a man over a cop doing his job when he encountered a threat. Yes,
yeah, too.
My thing is, was he a threat to him to shoot her 4 times?
Go. It's not about the threat just to him. I'm serving the public.
You killed somebody.
No, hold on. Because I think what you're missing, Les, is what the cops. Wait, listen. Yes, you are. And I think listen. So because it's our people, our emotions get caught up into it, and we automatically wait, listen, because I feel the same way. But by the same token, you got to look at what the duty of that officer was. And when you say, was he a threat to him? It's not about, and like I said, I'm not speaking my personal opinion or my beliefs or how I feel about the situation. But the girl don't have to be a threat to him for him to do what he done at all. Because his job duties is to protect and defend. So if it's a threat to somebody else's life, he's entitled to use that kind of force, whether he's in danger or not, because he's there to do that.
Okay, I got a question. Kenny, you been in
I'm being what?
We got a taser.
Oh, don't ask Kenny a question.
I got a question, Kenny. You've been in the service. Not the same, but it's the service.
Definitely the same.
Right. Huh? Would you have handled, if it was you, the situation the same way he did? If you were in his shoes?
I'm not a cop. I've never been through the training that cops go through, so I don't know what that procedure or protocol is.
You know what I would have did?
Okay.
Freezes.
No, but listen.
Listen. Freeze.
Let me say, when you're in the army,
okay, first you get the call. She's 15 years old, right?
If you're in the army,
this is a kid. It's not a grown man. It's a kid. Right. I put the situation.
I don't know how old she is. I don't have time to assess her age and
but I
don't have time.
Get the card. Oh, 15. Okay. Kids have issues with a knife. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna use the taser. I'm gonna shoot her one time in the leg.
Right.
I'm not to shoot 4 times to kill a kid.
People who are in the military, if I'm assigned to go and protect or whatever for this country, and I gotta throw a bomb inside of a village where it's a bunch of kids, it's the same. They're doing their job. I don't have the luxury of assessing that situation because my duty is to protect. Whether it's gonna be some casualties, unfortunately, again, we all agree that he could have did something different. But we have to get back to what was my duty. If I'm in the military and I'm shooting, I'm trained to kill, that's what I'm gonna do. Can it be some reform done? Yes, but we can't take every situation where a white cop kills somebody and compare it to a George Floyd.
We're taking every situation. We just saying it happens too much, so it's a coincidence.
Exactly.
Because before
that's all I'm saying. Quit killing us. If you killing us because you scared of us, yeah, we bigger, we more athletic, we talk a lot. We gonna go back and forth with you. Your authority don't mean shit if you killing us. So now moving forward, ain't nobody gonna respect authority. This niggas out here that ready to go toe to toe with the police.
So if somebody waving a knife at your sister, you gonna stop and say, "Oh, she only 14, and I better think about it."
Hey, ain't nobody shoot 4 times.
Or are you gonna try to protect your family?
You gonna protect?
Man, my thing is, we not even talking about. It's just not even this situation. I'm saying this happened too many times. So how can we build a bridge with the police when we keep seeing it happen so many times? Now we got social media, they got cameras on them, and they still be doing this shit. That's the problem.
Again, you are merging all the situations where a bad cop did some horrible shit to somebody.
My thing is, if good cops start saying something, everyone in the neighborhood is looking at them as bad cops because the good ones ain't saying nothing. That's all I'm saying. It's cops that held Derek Chauvin. They out against him because they knew he was a bad cop. But they could have been prevented that if they would have went to their sergeants and started saying, "Man, I can't work with him. He racist."
That little the little girl who got killed in the parking lot. How many of us is going to tell the media that they know the person who did it? We want to
take a little bit out and go over the other 100 cases that we dealing with as black men and women that get killed, and Latinos and Hispanics and Middle Easterners. It only happens to the darker skinned folks. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about that little girl no more. She's one out of many, but it's too many. So how can we build a bridge with them when people don't trust them? That's all I'm saying. It ain't the media pushing it. We seeing it with our own eyes. If I comply and a dude still put his gun out on me, it don't happen to me before. So I'm speaking from experience and what this world is right now, this country is right now. They're seeing it every day. Every other day, a cop shooting somebody just so happy and they ain't right. And you can't expect people to think different when it's a white cop in a world, in a country we live in where it's always been ran by white folks. So people take it personal. Like people are under pressure, cops are under pressure, but we're under pressure too. Because if I get pulled over, you damn sure I'm calling my wife or brother and sister and put them on record.
They think all black people are robbers, killers, murderers, rapists, the worst thing of the earth. So you are doing it. The oppressed becomes the oppressor. You feel the same way about these.
I can never be an oppressor.
You feel the same way about these people as they would look at you. You gonna take a whole mass full of cops and say, "All y'all."
I don't hate all of them. I'm just saying, people, they better get their shit together, or people gonna look at them and hate all of them. I don't hate all cops.
That's what that's what they do to us, and we say is wrong. Not all of us are the same. So you'll take these group of people and say all of them bad because if I said it, that's what's being pushed out in the but y'all don't. But people don't want them to look at us the same.
They've been looking at us from the same before the beginning of the time. Ain't nothing gonna change. These people was taught this. You think I want to blame the police? I'm not blaming them. This just happening to us. And if you ain't a black man, I don't think you know the real struggle of what we go through every day. We try to make it home. My thing is to make it home every day. My job is to make sure I make it home every day as a black man. Because you're not in our position. You've never had a gun to your head by the police, so you wouldn't know. Time to time, I don't give them a pass. Like, oh, this just one time. It don't happen to me 4 times. I don't comply 4 times, but one sudden move, me or one of my friends could have been dead because they look at.
I haven't had a cop put a
the description every time.
I haven't had a cop put a gun in my head, but I had somebody who looked at me put a gun to me. So I should think all black people are bad.
Man, if you ain't never been in that position where a police did you some fucked up shit, then you can't really tell me how to feel. Can't nobody tell me how to feel when the police did bullshit to me, and I still respect them to this day. But now it's moving to the point where not just me, but others feel a certain way. We in the process where we don't trust the police if we get pulled over or if we just chilling. Like you can't tell a black man how to feel when George Floyd getting sit on his neck for 9 fucking minutes. People be saying, well, black men complain to us. This is what we go through on a daily. My job is to make it home to my wife every day. My job is to get up and go to work on time and make it on time and get back home. So my wife, my mama, my brothers and sisters don't get the call. So people can sit up here and say, oh, black man, y'all complain too much. Y'all need to do better. They need to do better too. And until they do better, a lot of these people ain't gonna respect them. And you know what I'm saying? I've seen dudes get their ass whooped by the police because they laughed or something like that. They never respected us. It just so happened it's people up here, well, y'all letting the media ain't doing nothing. This been happening. I was a 4-year-old boy when I seen police run up in houses slapping people with guns and stuff. Like, come on, man. Like this, we tired of them killing us. That's all we saying. Quit killing us. Handle us the same way you handle other people.
Right.
If Dylan Roof killed 7 people and walked to a Burger King, if baby girl stabbed somebody, take her to Burger King too. And take her to jail. Because she needs to go to jail.
I agree.
She don't need to be dead. Don't kill her, take her ass to jail. I wouldn't have been mad if she went to jail because she stabbed somebody. He got out the car and that's premeditated. You got out the car and knew you was gonna kill that girl because you didn't use your taser.
How do you know that?
How do you know what cops think?
How do you know?
No, because you telling me, well, y'all need to do what the cops say. I done did everything the motherfucker on said, and ain't never shit happened. The same shit over and over. I got a homeboy. I ain't gonna call his name. Police kicked him in his ass so hard he could barely walk now. He ain't filed no charges, and all he did was stand on the corner with everybody else, minding their motherfucking business. My thing is, if you ain't never been in a position where a black man is facing the cops, you can't tell a black man today how to feel or any other day because you ain't never been in his footsteps.
Nobody said tell you how.
And you ain't a cop either. You ain't been in a cop footstep either. But I'm black. I've been in a black man. I'm a black man that's facing this shit every day.
Is to take
the shit I say today is for my little nephews, my motherfucking brothers, my homeboys. I don't want to see them on the news. So bridging the gap ain't gonna do shit for me. I'd rather bridge with my motherfucking brothers before I bridge with them.
But how you gonna live in a world where they exist?
Man, I can handle I've been handling myself all these years.
Okay, so
there's some good polices out here. There's been some good polices.
You're not gonna call the police?
There's some good polices out here, but when they pull up, you don't know whose side they on. That's the pressure. That's pressure.
Right.
Because you can't have nothing in your hand. Right. You can't even have no phone in your motherfucking hand. You go get killed.
When you go to a gas station in a rough neighborhood, do you have any pressure about it?
No, because the thing about it is, I know if somebody gonna fuck with me, it's gonna be somebody that look like me, the bad guys, and someone who's the police guy that's a bad guy. See, we got good black men and we got some fucked up black men. We got good police and the bad police. But the thing about the police, they want to police our neighborhoods. Like you got to gain trust from us because I'm telling you, if they don't get these laws and stuff together, this shit gonna still be happening.
Right.
And it's gonna happen with the laws. They don't get these dudes body cameras and they went up in Breonna Taylor's house and shot her dead.
But what do we do though? Because we are the people that supposed to change the laws. If ain't nobody getting and voting and get these people out the office, then what?
Like Greg said, it got to come from the government.
We still at step one.
You got to start from the government, dude.
The government got to get this together.
They got to start that shit off.
You got to start in-house, and that's another conversation.
In-house? I can't stop myself from being black.
In-house.
Yeah,
it been working. You got to start from the government.
We can sit up here and be mad and hate the police.
I got good cops and bad cops. That's what I'm saying. The bad cops is the ones that hate us. You may not
be saying it straight on, but your emotion behind it, somebody is watching. If you listen to a rap song and you don't...
Because this is happening every day, Jones. Do you see this? Have a son and see how you feel.
I got nephews. I got a kid. You have a son. You tell me how I feel.
Because I got nephews. I got brothers sitting up here. I got Wes and Kenny sitting up here.
You are not going to want to put this soil poison in his heart. You're going to teach him in this world.
This ain't poor or soil. This is me being real. This is who I am. I'm not mad at the cops. I'm mad at the fact that it keep happening. I'm mad at the bad cops. If you listen, I said there are good cops, there are bad cops. There are good black men, there are bad black men. It just so happened most of the time the good black man and the bad cop meet. That's what I'm saying. It ain't me. I hate nobody. I don't hate the police. I hate why it keep happening.
Right.
Like I'm tired of it happening. I'm tired of black men killing each other. But when you say you were paid to protect and serve, you don't get out the car and your first thing to do is to shoot a 14-year-old girl down. I ain't saying reason either. You tase her and tackle her ass. If he would have pistol whipped her, I wouldn't have been mad. She's still alive.
Again, it has to start with reform. But again, in the media, we like to deal more on our emotion in a personal experience.
There ain't nobody emotion. This is just who I am. My emotions been boiled over when George Floyd got killed.
Emotional and personal experience based on what the logic in. Again, I'm not saying that he couldn't.
You can't tell me how to feel, man. And this is the part. This is the sad part because it's more of black people. Black people don't really care until it happens to somebody that they love and care about. That's the problem. The biggest thing we talked about this week on Facebook was the PPP loans and stuff like that. That's why we fucked up. You know what I'm saying? A black man, we have to be better in each and every way. We got to talk a certain way when we somewhere. We got to act a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So every day there's a pressure that I wake up to, but I handle this shit so easily because that's just who I am. But like for most men who can't handle the police and stuff, they gonna feel fucked up about it. Like, man, y'all want to understand what most of us have been through. That's why it hurts so much because you see it so much. People be so quick to say, well, y'all need to do better. Tell me how to be better. I act a certain way, I do this, I do that. And it's like the same type of people like me still get gunned down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for all these people who be sitting up here talking that shit, until you had these experiences and stuff, and not even experiences and stuff, I just still remember when the dudes, Rodney King got beat by, they all got off. And it was just like, damn, and I was 5-6 years old at the time. And it was just like, you know, you think it's an isolated incident. The older I got when I became a teenager, in the car with Corey, we go into the movie, we get pulled over, they pull us out the car, search the car. For no reason. The older I get, I got stories for each decade that I don't dealt with the police on a negative level. I'm sitting in the lottery line playing my numbers. The police said I was taking too long. Now he want to talk shit to me. Like, man, fuck you. And it ain't fuck all cops. It's the ones that use that badge to show they got power.
I think that's a collective agreement. We all agree with that.
We all agree.
That's the given.
Cops, like we all agree with that. But what I don't like, and like I said, again, we all agree it could have been handled differently. But we need to put logic instead of basing everything off emotion. We know that it's cops out here killing Black people, but I'm not going to align every situation with certain situations because it's not the same. But if you have all this being spewed on media, every time that situation happens, you're going to attack it too. They just shooting us down. My thing is, how do we bridge it? Because we have to live together. I don't want to walk around in fear and being scared based on what the media is pumping to me.
I'm not scared. The media, we glad the media is seeing this now. Because it was times where they couldn't see it. It was times they ain't had cameras.
Right.
So this the best time to show this shit. To show the rest of America what we go through on a day. You can't defend against brutality. One thing about me.
That's the worst thing about it, though.
Say it again.
Shit still ain't changed, though.
That's what I'm saying, Wes. We see it so much now. Ain't nothing don't change. So just imagine the stuff that didn't get caught on camera.
Exactly.
No,
that's what
they had the Rodney King on camera.
What's happening?
That was back in 92, 93.
Wes right. We seen
things got off easy.
We seen Rodney King on there, and I seen a meme the other day. The only thing that changed about the Rodney King beating was the way that they look now on video. Was it's a clear video now? Because it don't change. And I mean, it's just so much to unpack when it comes to like police and neighborhood relations and stuff like that. Because, like I said, there's so many good ones, but it's some fucked up ones, man. It was like I said, the experiences, and then not just the experiences, just the stuff I don't see.
Like I said, I don't like to base everything on everything because, like I said, I was held at gunpoint. But it wasn't by a cop. It was by somebody who looked like me. But I'm not going to say every black man I see is a bad person. Again, we can't just, the way the media and the way we talk is that these kids are fearful of police. We don't take particular situations. It's just a mass thing that all our kids is in fear because of what's being pushed in the media so much. I judge by individual situations. Again, it wasn't by a cop. But it was by somebody who looked like me. So all black men should be bad and I should clench my purse and pull my gun when I see them. Again, you have to take the emotion out of some things and make it logic. We know that it's a lot of black people being killed because historically we have had it bad. But I'm not going to align every situation where a black person is shot down, unfortunately, till they just running out and killing all the black people. Again, we got all this flood on Facebook about this cop, but nobody talked about them 19, the house with the 19 kids in it being shot up. The media didn't get a lot of when the little girl was in the driveway and got shot in her head in Chicago. I didn't see a rally. I didn't hear nobody say nothing about that. And you got all these people, these celebrities sitting in a comfortable house who cool with the police as just racial mongers. Like, I don't want my kids to carry that. I wouldn't want to carry that. I don't want to just walk around in fear and scared. We want to talk about one situation, but we fail to hold accountability on the other side. They ain't gonna never respect us the way we going. And killings happen, black on black, white on white. But let's be rational here. If you in the military, I take it back to the military. If I have to go bomb a whole country, I'm gonna come back and say, oh, they just killing. Like, let's think logically for a minute. Some things are emotional based, but everything shouldn't be. Because to me, it takes away from our movement. If I roll up to a situation and they waving guns and somebody gets shot, I'm gonna say, oh, this was the George Floyd situation. Everything to me is not emotional. Some things have to be logical is what I'm saying. That's it. But anyway, we need to figure out how we can bridge this. The people who do continue to live the way you living, but the people like, I want a solution to this. What's the solution?
Hey, you know what's crazy though?
You sit up and talk about all day about what's happening, but what's the result?
You know what's crazy? Every time I get pulled over, you know what I tell myself? I'm dead.
Yeah, there ain't no way to live.
Why would you say that?
No, because that's how the
you never know. That's what I'm saying. I've never been in that situation.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I feel like I'm dead.
Yeah, you don't know the situation, but your words are powerful.
I don't like that though. It ain't like, okay, whatever.
You gotta think like that.
Damn, I'm dead.
That's a fucked up way to feel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's what we trying to say. That's all we trying to say. Like,
and we do gotta start looking for celebrities to do anything for us. Like what Dave Chappelle said to Ja Rule. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule got to say about this?
But you took an oath to protect and serve, and then like, you know, you do otherwise, or you was taught by your partner to do that, or your partner was taught by this person to do that. It's a lot of like ways. And then like you go to New York when they used to do the stop and frisk, when chiefs used to tell them, you know, go into the neighborhoods and rough up the black and Latinos. You know what I'm saying? Like they were taught that. you know, and like, just imagine being a guy in New York and have to subject yourself to that every day, where you walking up and down the street, you never know when a cop can run up on you and just frisk you. Exactly. Like, that's bad. That ain't what policing is. And then the times we do call when a motherfucker get killed or something like that, they show up 20, 30 minutes late.
An hour.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying all cops, but most of them do. Like, and it just got to be a big time reform. And I'm glad that social media and the media putting this stuff out there. They probably add on a little bit stuff like that, because it go both sides though. Because when Mike Brown got killed, they said, oh, he was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when a cop kills somebody, they opening up the cops' whole life. So it happens on both sides. So, like, if it weren't for the media, social media, man, a lot of this shit will still be, it'll be worse than this. And it's probably things that haven't been reported yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got cameras and stuff now. It should be better, but I think these cops, some of these cops that are doing this stuff, they don't care. Derek Chauvin didn't care. He really didn't care. And I'm not
he showed no emotion.
I'm not comparing every situation to that, but come on, man. Walter Scott and Philando Castile, he got killed in front of his girlfriend in the car, and he was complying. That's why people were so emotional and upset. Like, he complied and still died.
I'm stuck on this word thing, Wes. So instead of, like, I'm gonna say a quick prayer or something, the first thing you say is, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like,
and this was years ago.
I feel
though. I got put up so many times for no reason. Insurance was good, registration was good. They made me get out the car, search me, this and that, just to tell me, oh, we thought you were somebody else. Called another car in for what? I'm like, yeah, out of here.
Let's put a pause on this and come back to our thoughts about this. We have a guest coming up. He I guess this is Corey. He is an officer. Kind of want to get his experience being a Black officer. You know, him approaching a car, like, what does that feel like in this climate? And then maybe some things that we can do, because again, we only control ourselves. We can't control the situation. It's always in God's hands. At the end of the day, whatever you encounter. But what can we do so that, you know, our Black men can get home, Black women too. So I'm gonna bring him up now, and we can ask him questions. Liz, you want to go first?
I forgot they was coming on. I was gonna wait till we come up.
And let's be respectful in the comments. Everybody got their own opinion, and we're entitled to it. But let's be mindful of our guests. Hey, Corey. Or Tawanda. I don't know who's on. Hey, Corey. Can't hear you.
He on mute.
Oh.
You gotta tap the mic.
Oh,
there you go. It's connecting.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Corey.
Yep.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, my sister gonna come. Gonna come up too. Thank you for coming on our panel today. I don't know if you're watching, but it's been a lot, and we just wanna, because we can't control what's going on. We only can control ourselves. So, as you being an officer, African American officer, like, what is it like for you in this climate? Or maybe let's start. How did you get into it? Maybe introduce yourself. What is it like for you in this climate? And then, you know, what's some things we can do when we encounter the police? Hey, Tawanda.
Hi, how are you guys?
Tawanda.
Hey, family.
You want your sister to go first?
You go first. I'm gonna mute myself.
So, how long have you been an officer? And then what is it like for you working in this climate with this whole Black Lives Matter and the kind of watch light on the police?
First, I've been 20 years. Secondly, let me say I'm not representing any police department, so I have to put that disclaimer out. Just me as in law enforcement, but I've been in law enforcement for 20 years. And the climate for me, I think it's really emotional. A few months ago, my son asked me to stop being the police because he has to deal with his friends. He has to deal with the fact of what he hear in the mass media, and then come home to me being an officer. And he can't separate the two because he don't want anything bad to happen to me. But he understands I'm not a bad officer, but I don't have the platform to put that message out. I don't want the platform to try to put out that I'm not a bad officer, because at the end of the day, I get to take the uniform off, but I'm still a Black man. I'm raising a Black son. I'm a single dad. My son went out today, and I was concerned because he drove 45 minutes away from home. So I have to deal with the same issues. I think what's upsetting to me is the mass media forget that I'm a Black man and I have a Black son. And I think they doing to us what they don't want done to them. And that's judging them. And I think the mass media is judging every officer as if we are bad. And again, I feel the pain. I deal with it, but it's frustrating when you try to be an agent for change and you're not given the opportunity to even to produce or even show that change, if that makes sense.
I agree, absolutely.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's the part for me that, I mean, because I come from a family of law enforcement and I know these people, you know what I'm saying? So when the media puts this out there, it's just like, we're never bridge it if we got this whole big gap. And again, you're raising a Black son. You happen to be a Black officer, but you got a son who has to deal with the same thing. And now I got to go to school and my son want me to stop being the police because of what he's heard or what he believes. That's what I mean. Like, we got to stop this rhetoric is what I call it, because everybody is not a bad cop. And if I'm here to do a job that puts my life on the line, but then I'm bashed for it on the same token. So where's the medium for me? I understand as Black, we're in fear, but as an officer, especially, what does that mean if our own people don't believe? I want some of that. So what is it like for you as a Black female officer? And how long have you?
So I don't know if you guys can hear me because the internet is horrible here, but I've been a police officer for 25 years. I would say that the culture hasn't changed, the awareness has, because of social media and video cameras, but everything that's going on has been going on for a long time. It's our job as, like Garrison, he's been my partner forever, for us to make sure it don't happen in our presence. We can't control what happens outside of our presence, but everything that happens in my presence, we have to make sure we control. We make sure that, you know, these things are not being done to our Black, you know, brown kids. It saddens me because that's not what I got on this job for. That wasn't what we were trained to do. We were trained to serve and protect. That's my job. And when I take my uniform off, I'm Tawanda. You know that, Evan. You know, I mean, both Evans know me. They know that I'm a party girl. I love to have fun. I put that uniform on. Now my life is on the line based on the culture of what's been going on since my parents were police officers. I mean, my mother, you know, when she came on the job, they didn't want women police officers, so they dogged her out. They put her in a bad position. A lot of white officers treated her bad. She just had to be strong, and you know, she knew she had to do this for herself and for her children. So it's really hard to say how to bridge that gap because, first of all, we have to have the right people in place to make sure that these officers that's out here doing what they don't supposed to do be accountable for what they're doing. We can't be afraid to speak up. We can't be afraid to say, okay, you know, make a complaint. When I was pulled over by this officer, he did A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because it's not fair. Two, I really feel like they should not be policing our community because they don't understand who we are. But yet, we have a man in position who's the chief of police that continue to hire these people from places, from the suburbs and, you know, outside of our community, and they bring them into our community and expect them to be able to police them, and they keep. So When I was a police, it was majority black department. Now the department is mostly white. To me, that's an issue because they can't police us. They don't understand. They don't understand us. They don't understand.
We get Corey back. Corey, can you mute yourself?
Is that me or you? I think that's her background.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Tawanda.
So, so again, we do have to talk to our children, not just our boys, but we have to talk to our girls. Make a journal, anything that's going to help bring awareness to what's happening. Because that's what we weren't trained to do that. That wasn't in our training. Some of this is just people coming into a community and just want to show their authority. And that's sad because that's not what we're trained to do.
Breaking up.
Tawana, you breaking up. And what I wanted to say was, like, I really do appreciate you and Corey's service, but that's what I was really much trying to say is somebody got to mute their phone.
Yeah, tell Tawana to mute her phone.
There she go. Go ahead, lady.
But no, what I was just trying to say was, like, I feel like because it's always and the thing is, I feel like certain cops shouldn't police certain communities, especially if they haven't grown up how we grew up and stuff and don't understand the culture. And it's kind of crazy because when I'm in the suburbs, I don't see many black or brown, cops there, but you see them. You see a lot of white cops in the inner city. And I was just wondering, like, when George Floyd got killed, was there like a memorandum or was there like meetings that you guys had to like get an understanding of, okay, we in a bad situation now where cops are being blamed for a lot of this stuff that's going on when it's just one cop that's really to blame? Was it like was it like suggestions from cops to like, okay, maybe we have to retrain people how to deal with black and brown folks? Do those come up in meetings and stuff like that? That's for either Corey or Tawana.
They do have meetings about it as well as supervisors. You was talking to Tawana?
Her phone breaking up. We're gonna let Corey and then we're gonna come back to Tawanda.
They have meetings about it, but it's important that supervisors deal with it during roll call too. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of time to really, do the necessary training, what is necessary required to do it during roll call, but you do bring it up and you have those brief meetings about how to be sensitive, how to be mindful, how to deal with people. I'm gonna say something and I hope I don't offend you all. I do think it's an issue with how some people are afraid. But and again, I'm not saying this because I am a police officer, but I think it's important that we know how to handle ourselves with cops because we have to be held accountable. I don't try to look at it like a black or white type of thing. I think it's just sometimes, for me, community policing is my expertise. I'm an expert in community policing. And one of the things that offends me the most is when I'm riding around the neighborhood, a white parent see me with her kids and she say hi to the officer, thank him for serving us. When a black parent see me, she said to her kid, I go to police, he gonna get you. So from a child, she makes me the monster. Like we're creating and we're breeding this in our community to think whenever I show up, I'm there to get them. Where other races, they see me, no, you're here to serve me. I'm here to serve both sides because that's what I signed up to do. So I think accountability has to be done on both parts. I tell people when I show up, 95%, whenever police show up, it's because y'all called us. We pretty much show up when somebody called us there. But go ahead, I'll let somebody ask the question. I don't want to go too far left.
No, but that was gonna be my next thing before we let y'all go. Like when we are approached by police or we're pulled over, like what are some things you would tell us as Black people or whatever color? Like how do you deal with the police? But Tawana, you want to answer first before we go into that question?
So I'm gonna try to answer the question. Basically, it's the individual officer. So I'm gonna say this: you have officers out here that they raised like this is they were ready from kids, and they still care that. That answer is very hard to answer because no matter what you do, you have the history of these shootings. No matter what you do, these Black men are still getting killed by the police. You can put your hand on.
Breaking up, Tawanda.
Can you hear me now?
It's still funny, but look, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is we can teach our kids to, I'm still breaking up.
No, we can.
Yes. Oh, you can?
Yeah.
So to me, it just depends on that individual officer. I don't know if you guys heard me. Like I said, you have people that's raised generationally to hate. And I can say all day long, do this and do that. But if you come across that wrong officer, that just...
Yep, you breaking up again.
I got a good question for Tawanda too, man. It's
Hers breaking up too bad.
Hey, Ebony, I guess she was trying to say is, and I don't want to take away, are there bad cops out there? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You got some folks are just racist, and I'm not, ashamed, or I won't sweep it under the rug. It is a problem. And it's our responsibility, if I claim to be a good officer, to hold them accountable. Unfortunately, we can't be everywhere when all the bad officers are there neither. But if I see it, she'll tell you, I don't play that game. By no means. I don't care who you are. Not under my watch. You're not going to do it.
That's good.
Right. And that's all you can do. Again, we can't control every situation. There's good and bad people everywhere. Again, just don't spew that to these kids who coming up under us. So what would you say as, if you're approached by the police, what is some tips or, how do you handle yourself when you're, pulled over by the police or you encounter the police?
I can give you a list of things, but I'm just sum it up like this.
You on mute, Corey.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so I'll sum it up in here. I can give you a list of things, but I'm gonna sum it up by saying, follow the instructions. It's just that simple. Are we agitated? Are we irritated by it? We absolutely are. I get pulled over too, but I'm gonna follow the instructions. One of the things that I learned from other folks, they know how to write letters, back in the day, my granddad used to say the squeaky wheel get the oil. We can complain. I don't think on the scene is the time to try to prove who you are, how much you know, and how frustrated you are, and how tired you are with the situation. Cooperate. Put your hands, give them instructions of what you're doing. I know we're seeing videos where it seems as if it don't help, but it does help. Follow the instructions, do what they ask. If you want to fight the situation, there's a proper time to fight the situation. Get their badge, if they don't want to give you their name or badge, every police vehicle has a number on the vehicle. That number identifies what cop was driving that particular vehicle at that time, so they can find out who it was. And you can make a complaint later on, but follow instructions. Put your hands up. Hey, I'm about to do this. This is what I'm about to do. During that time that you come into contact with an officer is not the time to be combative. I would say the biggest thing I would say is follow the instructions and fight the battle later.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Every situation is going to be different, but like he just said, you may not be able to write it down, but when they pulling off, take a picture of, the back of the car or wherever it's at, and then file your complaint later. Tawanda, you still breaking up?
So I went out and came back in. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I know someone had a question for me.
Corey kind of gave it out. He just said comply when you're encountered by the police. So do you have anything to add to that, or is that, basically it when you encounter the police?
He didn't just say comply. He said comply. If you have complaints, just write that officer car number down, deal with the situation later. But just at the time, just follow the instructions. Do what the officer says, hold your hands up. Each officer has a badge number. Actually, if you can't get that, write the number down on the side of the car. They pulling off, write the license plate. Just do whatever the cop is demanded at that time to get out of the situation and handle the situation later. Don't escalate the situation right there and then on the spot. I think she froze again.
I got a question for you all, Ebony, when Shaw finished.
Okay, anybody got any more questions for Corey? Tawanda is in a bad section, but anybody else got any questions?
One more question, Corey. How was it? So you're an officer and you've been pulled over before, correct?
Yes.
And I'm guessing you can't move. You can't even show them your badge when they. Yeah, that's what I figured.
I was in a situation with the state police where I literally thought I was about to get shot because I had just left the school speaking with some young people and he pulled me over. Every time I opened my mouth, he told me to shut up. He told me to get on the ground. And I'm trying to explain to him that I'm an officer and he see my gun. I thought this guy was about to shoot me. I was shaking. He was shaking. And every time I go to tell him I'm a police, he like, shut up. And he like, get on the ground. And I just said, I'm a cop. I'm a police. And he just started hollering, no, no, with the gun pointing at me. Like, I thought I was about to die that day. Like, real talk.
And you a cop?
Oh, yeah.
You see what I was saying when I be saying that when I get pulled over?
Because my guy Wes was saying every time you get pulled over by the police, he feel like that's it. You know what I'm saying? And we shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what was the question you had for us?
So what is your expectation as a Black officer? What is your expectation from us when we do have to approach you all? What are y'all expecting from us?
For me, it's more of, man, just the respect factor. Like, I know you're having an understanding of, look, man, if I call you and just don't come in and say, for instance, a domestic violence issue, it's already a hectic situation. A cop can just come in and say, what was the issue? Calm us down. I look for a cop to calm the situation down. You know what I'm saying? Like, not treat everybody like a criminal. More of just having a conversation. We know you on alert, but now we on alert too. We're not saying we're gonna have guns and stuff waiting, but I need to have my hands showing and everything. You know what I'm saying? So when you approach me, I ain't on no bullshit. I'm just trying to, and that's the thing, we have to have that trust to call the police to pull up and even deal with us. And that's where it really is now. My outlook, I always had respect for the police, but I've been disrespected by the police a few times. And like, that's where, see, I'm we in our late 30s, so I think they have to appeal to the younger people for them to feel safe. You know what I'm saying? The community in the whole, but really the young people has to feel safe around you guys because they seen so many young people get killed by the police. And we're not saying all cops are bad. We just saying the ones that's in these departments, I know some cops see some of the fucked up shit they do. They just gotta hold them accountable. Right. And like the way West feel, I feel like that sometimes. That's why when I do get pulled over, I call my wife and be on speaker. I try to record the call. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Like before the police even approached my car, I already got my license and registration hanging out the window before they even approach. So I know how to deal with them. Some people don't know how to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and with the male cops, it's more of a guy getting handcuffed. And, you hear one of the cops call him a bitch or something, then he called the cop a bitch back. Then people want to hit him with something or something like that. Like, men feel disrespected when you talk to them a certain way, but they're like, we always go comply. But like, I don't see when guys comply and it still end up being a messed up situation. So Corey and Tawanda, basically we just saying like, in our communities, like sometimes we prefer to see a black person pull up than a white person. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't just black and white, but they sometimes.
Well, can I say this?
Go ahead.
Garrison and I work undercover. We work patrol sergeants right now. Still breaking up.
Tell them to turn their radio down on your end, Tawana.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Okay, can y'all hear me better?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat what Garrison said. We're in a community. We're walking around, we're talking to people, you know, we feed people, we do a lot for the community. But my thing is, if we're teaching our kids to hate the police, when we come and encounter with them, that's the kind of attitude that they're gonna have. And unfortunately, that's the culture of how these children are being raised. When we were raised, and both our parents were police officers, so of course we respected police. But in our time, I'm 50 years old. When I used to walk around, it was white cops, black cops, or whatever. But we were taught to respect police, regardless, right or wrong, because we knew that I could go to my parents and say, look, this police officer did this police officer did that, or you can make a report. But now the culture, like, people don't really understand what we deal with, even as black officers, when we go in a community. Garrison and I was in a plainclothes. We would ride through the Jeffrey projects and everything. And it was kids that were actually pointing toy guns at the police. Bang, bang. Come on now. We have to take responsibility for how we're raising our children. Because when they grow up, this is the mentality that they have. And I'm not saying that all cops are good or, you know, because we have some bad cops, but we have to work together as a community. And that's why Garrison and I go out in the community and we talk to children. I give out the badge, the stickers, and we feed children. We give them, you know, we see them like at the ice cream truck and we pay for everybody ice cream. Like, those are the type of things that we want people to see. But it comes from home as well. So we don't want you guys to be afraid. I don't want your son and daughter to be afraid to see me pull up. I'm there to protect them. But when they're afraid, the attitude just changes. And that's the thing that we have to change as a community. We have to come together. We have to have meetings and community meetings. You know, they used to have community centers where every month, the senior citizens, our elders, used to have community meetings with the town hall people, police officers in their community, and make it known of the issues of what's going on. And we just have to bring that back. And you guys would be the perfect, you know, you guys have the perfect foundation to start that, the perfect platform to start those community meetings, to start getting these officers, white or black, get them to come to these meetings and you voice your concerns. But we have to work together because that's the only way it's gonna work. And we have to make each other accountable. We have to make the police officers accountable, but you guys have to be, as citizens, have to be accountable. I heard one of the guys bring up a domestic violence situation, and I'm gonna tell you, domestic violence situations are the worst situations for a police officer to go into. I've gone to police calls where the young lady called the police because her boyfriend was beating her up, and when we got there, both of them jumped us. They turn on you. So we have to have a different mentality. So it's like, but you don't know that because we don't talk about it. So it has to be accountability on both sides. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we gonna wrap this up and let y'all go because Corey at work and Tawanda like she on the move. But we want to get just a few questions out the comment. Tanisha said, when other cops do bad things in the precinct, do other cops check them or question them or say nothing? I think Corey answered that.
Corey said he checked them.
Right.
I think it depends on the cop.
Yes. It depends on the officer, yeah. We definitely check them. I mean, if I have to go further than that, if I have to go to a supervisor to make sure that this person is accountable, but for the most part, we check them, and sometimes we check them our way. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Right. Then they asked, what do we teach our youth when encountered by the police? We answer that. So any more questions before We let our guests leave.
I got one more last one for Tawanda. Tawanda, how was it coming up in the ranks as a female cop?
Oh, good question. So being a female, for the most part, even in this time of age, most male officers feel like we can't do the job. But what people don't understand, that policing is not a physical job, it's mental. And most women, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm not trying to step on any guy's toes, but women are strong mentally.
Some of them, right? Some of them.
So, of course, guys were like, oh, she didn't deserve it, or this is this. But I work hard. I've been doing this for a long time. I've worked in a lot of different departments. I used to work executive protection for the chief of police. I've done a lot of things. And so my record for myself, because regardless. It's still a man. Because I'm getting close to the airport. But it's still a man.
That Teddy Riley.
Uh-oh.
She got that Teddy Riley Wi-Fi again.
We losing Tawanda again.
Drake, I think we got one of your classmates watching. He said, shout out to you.
Central.
What did he say?
You went to Central High School?
Class of 94.
I did.
Yeah, somebody know you.
And Drico. That's how he says. He said, shout out to you.
We do want to thank y'all for coming on, man. Like, I know it's, some good cops out here. We know, like, you guys have to do your jobs and everything like that. But we, one of the things is, we all do have to come together. But, it's still a lot of scared people out here. And that's why I said we got to reach the youth first. And instill in them that, it's okay to call for help from a police officer and stuff like that. So that's
Hey, my last thing, I'm gonna say this, y'all. The problem is there are scary cops out there. They're just flat out. I would say 80%, 90% of folks that are police officer, and they're gonna be mad at me for saying this. They was lame when they was in high school. They had no girls.
We said the same thing.
We said that.
Oh, did y'all? They was bullied when they was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They went through a lot of stuff, so now it's an opportunity to try to prove how tough they are. They are. I'm just be flat out and be real with you. It's the opportunity to get back that everybody got to them. Some of them, right? Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Right. So, I mean, and that's just the reality of it. I was shy when I was in school. I wasn't lame. I grew up in Miami, right? In the hood, but I don't got to prove. I did. I was born and raised in Dade County, right? But
305.
Absolutely. But let me say this. They are scared.
My bad. Go ahead.
And we don't know who the good, like y'all don't know who the good cop or bad cop. We don't know who the good guy or the bad guy is either. We really don't. So just think about this for a second. When I come to work, I see the worst of people. I see who kill, who molest, who rape, who child abuse. I see the worst. I don't know if you're the boogie monster or not. So when you start acting like it, then you're going to send me to a high alert. I think you're the boogie monster. Because that's all I see every day. So it's not fair for me to judge you. But the honest truth, that's what I see. I see the worst of people. So whenever I see somebody, when you show me the signs that you're that bad person, now I have to go there because at the end of the day, I want to go home to my family. So I think that's why I said in the beginning, it goes on both sides that we both have to be accountable. Like somebody said, I can't come off hollering, yelling at you. You can't come off yelling at me. Let's figure out, officer, I'm going to respect you, sir. I'm going to respect you. And I'll be honest with me as a black man, people want to see me in the hood, but I get more disrespected by black folks than my white counterparts do.
Wow.
Because we familiar, because people think because I look like them, they're more familiar with me. Just food for thought.
So I got one question, and then I'm gonna let y'all go because we had this conversation earlier about. I understand that you take a different approach when you're dealing with certain communities, but by the book, even though it may need to be changed, that's that reform we've been talking about. But by the book as it stands, when you encounter a situation, right, whatever color they are, and the person has a knife And
we about to go an hour on this.
No, I'm not, because I'm gonna let them go after. I just want to know about. Let me finish. I'm gonna let you go. What are you trained to do as an officer when you encounter that situation, like in Ohio?
I'm gonna answer that. Okay, so understand that we're trained to meet force when the way the force is coming to us. So if you have a knife, that is considered deadly force because that knife can pierce my vest. So a knife is a weapon. And I want to speak on that since we're talking about that situation. You got to understand that somebody at that situation, at that scene was going to die. So my job is to serve and protect. Do I allow someone to kill this person in front of me, or do I use the force that I'm trained to do, which is deadly force, to make sure he spared one life? One life was taken, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate. But we have to look at the totality of the situation. We have to look at the whole situation. That young lady, first of all, pushed someone down, pulled a knife, which was clearly seen on a video, pulled it. What was the officer? Actually, let's think about it. If we was in that situation, and that was our child that she had pinned up on the car with a knife about to kill her, what would we have wanted an officer to do? Let this girl kill her? Or do we stop the threat? Because we're trained to stop the threat. We're not trained to kill. Understand that. We're trained to stop the threat. And that's what he did. He stopped the threat.
My issue.
What about a warning shot or a shot in the leg, but not 4 times?
Train to shoot the leg. Go ahead.
That's why I keep saying about
4 times though. That's what I'm saying. So of course.
Listen, you can't listen here. Listen, let me let y'all know something. We're not trained to shoot warning shots. When we go to the gun range, we're trained to shoot center mass. We're not trained to shoot the head, the groin, the leg, the arm, because you can miss. We're trained to shoot center mass. That's my training every 6 months. So that officer, in his mind, he had a split second to decide if he was gonna see this girl get killed. And y'all have to understand that this man, at the end of the day, has to live with this for the rest of his life because he took someone's life, but he also spared someone's life. And if you in that situation and that was your child leaning up against the car, you would have wanted him to do the same thing. Because he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't shoot that girl because she was black. He didn't shoot her because she was playing around with a toy knife and she was just swinging it in the air. That's different. This girl was about to use deadly force on another person. And he met deadly force with deadly force. And that's what we train to do. That's just, it is what it is. And that's the honest God truth. Garrison, I don't know if you want to back
the taser is out of the question when that happens.
Listen, she presented a deadly force situation.
Saying the same thing.
Deadly force is met with deadly force. Period. The taser is used for force. If she went and had that knife pointed at somebody and she just had it up in the air, yeah, he could have used a taser because now he's stopping her from harming someone else. But at the point she was using deadly force in someone else, he met deadly force with deadly force. And that's how we train. It looks bad. It's unfortunate, but he spared a life. He took a life and spared a life. It is what it is. I mean, we look at the video over and over and over again, and that's why the chief of police put that video out so quick, because we're trained to meet deadly force with deadly force. And if he would have stabbed her, and people, like, you have to consciously put yourself in a situation and think about if that was your daughter on that car about to be killed. Just think about it. What would you want that officer to do? Which phone call would you like to make to the innocent person or whatever, they was in a fight or whatever, that, oh, I'm sorry that your daughter was killed by this person and I can't stand there and do it as my duty. We can't stand there and let that happen. We meet deadly force with deadly force.
Corey, you got anything to
add? And
it's
sometimes the
only thing I would say, people say the arm, the leg, and what she said, center mass. And the reason why we shoot center mass because that's the largest part of the body. And we don't want to risk trying to shoot somebody in the arm and leg, and you shoot somebody else. Now you have to explain that.
And not sharpshooters.
Yeah. And then somebody said a warning shot. when the bullet go up, it come down somewhere. Now you got a loose round that you shot up in the air or in the ground. It's too much liability, or could things that could happen. The person.
Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was gonna say, for the person that said shoot him in the arm, if they want to go to the range, I'm willing to take them to the range, and I give them $100 if they shoot the target that I tell them to shoot after I put them through a little stress test.
Well, I'm gonna take your money then.
Bring it.
You can't even shoot on duck hunt.
This is my final question, and it got something to do with police reform. So, with that being said, what if their communities start coming like, well, y'all need to change some of the deadly force options? What would a cop feel like if they did change some of that? Like, oh, you just can't pull up and just shoot them, shoot to kill. You have to use your taser first and then shoot to kill. Would y'all be okay with that ruling? Because with reform coming, it's going to be a lot of things that I'm telling you, with outcry from the communities, these politicians going to make it. They going to use Derek Chauvin as an example, which puts some of the good cops at risk now. You know what I'm saying?
We're not going to be at risk. You know who's going to be at risk? You.
The public.
Y'all going to be at risk. Y'all going to be the one that say, hold on, we made a mistake. We don't have the issue. We really don't. But the public going to see, like, dang, we messed up with this. So I'm all for whatever reform y'all want to do. I'm all for it.
And I think as far as reform, that's a little different from what Les was speaking about as far as escalation of force, because as the officer was describing, depending on the situation, determines the use of force that's used. So if it was a situation that required to pull the taser, that would be different. So I don't think reform will change. Like if I think even with reform, I think if you see, it'll still always be, if it's a threat to great bodily harm or death, it'll be use of deadly force. I don't think reform will change that. I don't think reform will say if you see a person in an act of committing.
Outcry from the public. That's what we.
No, outcry from the public or outcry from anybody. I don't think it'll be something passed that says you in a situation and you see a person using deadly force against another person, you won't pull out your taser. I don't see that ever passing in no court.
It'll be too late.
We don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if they do pass something like that? You never know. They don't vote. We don't have.
Put yourself on the other side, on the other side of the gun, and do you want that passed?
Right. We're not gonna get all.
I'm not me. I'm talking about people in general.
We're gonna let Corey and Tawanda finish up, and then we can finish on our debate because we'll go 4 hours. But reform we think needs to start at the top when we have bad officers that do things where they could have used something different. I think that's the reform that we're looking for.
Yeah.
But anything else from Tawanda or Corey before we wrap up? Because as you see, we get on it and we ride it for a while. So,
well, I just have a question. I just have a question for the friend that had the question.
Liz.
If you're out there, say if you're outside in the yard and you see a guy put a gun to one of your family members, and you have a gun on you, and you got rocks. We'll just say rocks or taser.
No, say a taser. Say a taser.
Okay, let's say a taser. Which one are you going to use to save your mother, father, kid, uncle, sister, brother life? As a citizen, and he has a gun.
I'm gonna use whatever.
Are you gonna use the taser or a gun?
No, but I'm not here to protect the service.
No.
Hey, y'all,
See you later.
Y'all gotta get to y'all.
I'm gonna use the taser.
No.
500 to the highest.
Okay, so you use the taser and you miss.
I'm not a politician. I'm just a black man trying to make it.
We asked you to answer our question. Just answer the question.
I answered the question.
Answer the question.
But
I didn't hear your
answer. I'm not being paid to protect and serve the community.
It doesn't make a difference. That's still your family member. It doesn't make a difference. Deadly force is deadly force, if you a police officer or not.
I should have my day in court then.
Okay. All right, thank you, Corey.
No, because that's the thing about it. Ain't no bad answers. I feel like if I kill a person, take me to jail.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions for Tawanda and Corey?
Thank you both for your time joining us tonight. Thank you both for your service. We wish you both peace and protection, and continue to do a great job policing our community. For the ones that look like us, we support y'all and salute y'all.
We need more.
All right.
Thank you.
And I want to say for you guys, keep this conversation going because people need to know. People need to be educated. And as a community, this is the only way we're going to build that gap if we talk about it. There's no right or wrong answer to none of this, but we have to figure out a solution. Correct. So keep this conversation. I'm so proud of y'all. I you know, kind of come in when I can and live.
You were mute.
Keep this going because the community need to see this. They need to hear this. And anytime y'all want to talk again, I'm available. But y'all keep doing what y'all doing. I'm proud of y'all. I mean, you know, I'm just so proud of y'all because this is where it starts. It starts with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you both.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
See y'all.
Bye.
Peace.
I'll hang up.
The red button, you know he old.
Stop Zoom or stop live.
Just
y'all,
cut your whole phone off.
all right. Y'all have a good one. Thank you again.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks.
Not cut your whole phone off.
You know, if people get a little older, they don't know how to, work this stuff. Just press power.
Right.
I think they made some great points, though. I think they gave some good insight on, from a police officer standpoint, as far as, practices and policies and procedures. We may not agree with some of them. I understand some of them, although I hate the outcome. I hate that we don't have different measures that we can use before going to that. But I can't say I don't understand the process and the process that's put in place.
Yeah. I mean, it's more about the solution and whatever that be on.
Because I think that was a great example. She said, when she said, think about someone has a gun to your family member's head and you come out and got a gun. Are you going to use a gun or a taser?
I'm killing.
Right. Otherwise, we wouldn't buy guns.
Take out police officers out. I'm just saying in general. Take out protect and serve, just human beings. Are you going to use a gun or a taser? Because if you put yourself in another situation, it's the same situation. It's somebody life or death. My job is to protect the person's life. Is the taser going to protect it in that split second? Because faster than I can pull this taser, they can pull that trigger. So that was I just want to say that was a good example. I won't pick neither side, but I'll just say that was a good example.
I mean, go ahead.
It's just common sense. I was just going to say, you're going to pull your gun. You're not going to pull out a taser in that type of situation. Well, at least I'm not.
No, because that's why we buy weapons. Otherwise, we'd just tussle and fight in the streets and have rocks and bricks. We buy guns because
people won't go buy CPL. They'll just go buy tasers and mace.
That's right. That's right. Everybody take their guns back to the store and let's get tasers and mace.
I'm gonna shoot him in the leg.
First of all, that was one of the dumbest comments that I keep hearing a lot. Shoot them in the leg, shoot them in the arm. These cops are not sharpshooters.
Nigga, how that's dumb though?
I'm about to tell you. These cops, listen. These cops,
don't say it's dumb. That's dumb.
No, listen, I'm about to tell you why. These cops. I'm about to tell you why.
The situation, y'all know, y'all ain't.
I'm about to tell you what I do know. These cops are not sharpshooters. These cops are not sharpshooters. They're not trained to aim and shoot at the leg or aim and shoot at the arm because the window is too big to miss.
We just saying, and
that's all I'm saying.
We saying in that situation, we have to understand the cop situation. Like, I didn't know that. But at the same time, that's why we have people on here to teach us stuff. One thing about it, we all don't know the situation. That's all I'm saying. And
I agree with you.
And y'all took that one little thing out of everything we was talking about cops and stuff.
So what little thing?
We talking about everything.
I'm not talking about tonight. I'm talking about that's been here since it happened.
I'm gonna explain myself if y'all keep cutting me off.
Because you cut everybody off all the time.
No, I cut everybody off all the time.
Every time.
Like, the thing is, I'm tired of seeing black people die.
We all are.
We just not talking about that situation. We just talking about cops overall. The way to bridge the community. One thing I took from Corey, he said it's gonna be our fault. No, it's not gonna be our fault. I'm saying, what I'm trying to get the word out is, if y'all don't get the people that's empowered to help this situation, then random cops are gonna start dropping because some of these people don't care about all this law shit. That's all I'm saying. Like, the reform gotta happen on both sides, but you can't, these kids are not trusting cops. That's what I'm trying to get it through. Yeah, it starts from at home, but if a kid at home, he see police run up in his house with a gun to his mom and daddy, hey, he gonna look at the cops as bad guys. So we all gotta be respectful on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more than just, you know, deadly force. It's more the respect factor. It's so much stuff we got going on. And like, it's just, it's a lot. And in order for our communities to get better, and you know what, I'm gonna stop talking about it. Because one thing I know from people like Black people is it has to happen to them to get a real understanding of what's all this shit about. I'm not saying the old girl shouldn't have got shot or anything. I just had my feelings on it, and y'all say I'm wrong for having a feeling about it. I can feel whatever the fuck I want to feel.
You said you was wrong.
No, I'm saying, like, y'all get on here, and if somebody wrong or you don't know what you talk about, no, this is what we have Black convos for, because everybody have a conversation about how they feel.
You don't know, again, Les, like it's like you almost hearing stuff nobody didn't say. No, nobody ever said you was wrong. Nobody ever.
No, I'm saying, like, the whole thing about it is y'all. Everybody should get a taser. Y'all enlightening on what motherfuckers go through. That's bullshit. That was it was uncalled for to say, oh, everybody should get a taser. No. The thing is, like,
that's what we want.
If they're a cop and I'm a civilian, if a dude put a gun in my mama's head, I'm protecting my home. But if you pay to protect and serve,
you protect another life.
All right, go ahead.
You taking one too, though, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The thing that I heard was somebody was going to die.
If we don't want this with the police, we need to tell the military to do the same thing. We got reform all at the top. Because listen, if this is what I'm trained to do as my job, yes, we can start at the top and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this when you encounter somebody with a knife. But I'm more concerned about the reform that when a bad cop come in and do something that was uncalled for, you handle him a certain way in the justice system. I'm not going to say as a cop, and if that's the case, we don't need no police. So let them defund the police, because if you want people to police a way that makes you feel comfortable, but it may not be for the better good of the whole community. You want this small pocket to police to make you comfortable, but for the overall community, it may not work. So every time I encounter a threat as a police officer and I'm trained this way to do this job, I need to consider everybody's feelings in this situation. But again, what if it was your person on the other side of that knife? Would the conversation still be the same? And again, everybody keeps saying, you know, shoot them in the leg. Again, it was unfortunate, but in their duty and their training, when I encounter a threat, I shoot to kill. Emotionally, that's not gonna make us feel good, but this is their job. So again, I would say everybody go out and try to police a neighborhood for a month or two, and then let's see if you have them same feelings. The Army do the same thing. We want to reform them too.
The Army is different. They're protecting the whole country. We're talking about protecting a small community. All I'm saying is, come to these people with respect. These kids will respect you if you walk up to their parents and uncles and them and show some respect. And I get what Corey's saying is, yeah, some of the Black guys that look like him give him a hard time. That's because a lot of the Black cops give them a hard time. It go both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, man.
So how we gonna fix it?
You can't. You gotta be from the government. You got stuff out there.
What can the government do?
What is the government gonna do if ain't nobody budget?
Okay, they ain't doing shit from in-house.
No, I'm asking you a question specifically. What would you suggest the government do to change some of this?
It's nothing the government.
If we got the same mentality, like, what's really gonna change?
No, I feel like if you locking people up for 20, 30 years, these officers got to get life. They ain't no different. They police officers, but you got to punish them the same way as a criminal.
Right.
I agree with that.
We all agree with that.
I agree with that.
Let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you this. What was, okay, so how old was that girl? 15?
Mm-hmm.
15, right? The girl. So what was an 8-year-old kid running around with a knife trying to stab somebody? You shoot to kill the little kid?
Basically, that's what they're saying, basically.
Okay.
That's all I was saying. It's not right.
That's all I want to know. Like, okay.
It's sad, but that's
you can't like.
I was never taught to hate the police, and that was the thing. Growing up, we love the police, but as I got to becoming a teenager and stuff, my encounters with the police changed from me liking them to like, damn, what I do to you? It ain't that I hated you. It's like, damn, I'm doing the best I can to comply, and you still push me to the ground. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kids that's growing up that ain't built like we was built. We was built as like strong kids. These kids are a little weaker than and softer than what we are. So they feel as if y'all can turn your heads like y'all got to see what. Matter of fact, I hope this never happens to none of y'all. Just leave it at that. Like, and me being a black man, you will never know my struggle. So
have any of y'all been pulled over before?
If I do something and I become a threat, I gotta know it's somebody.
You can't respect nobody else's opinion, but you want everybody to hear yours.
No, I can't respect. No,
you fair.
No, I'm not saying
listen, you're a black man, but you're not the only person that been through something.
You can't have that type of situation or opinion about a black man when you ain't never been in that shoes as far as with the police.
Listen, okay, well, I've been at gunpoint, robbed at gunpoint. We called the police. They turned on us as if we robbed somebody. So people go through stuff. Everybody do. So how you gonna say?
No, I'm saying for those who haven't been in the situation. I said for those who haven't been in that situation, you won't know until it happened to you. How it has an effect on you. How it has an effect on Wes.
Well, that situation got an effect on me because I don't do the police like that. But
hey, I got pulled over. Hey, I got pulled over one time out in Warren. These fools had me wait outside the code, handcuffed to their car for like an hour and 30 minutes to tell me, oh, you ain't the person. Hour and 30 minutes in the code. No coat on.
Situation that happens in your life, that's gonna make you just, I hate that situation. So again, if somebody of your own kind came up to you and did something bad, that's gonna make you hate your own people forever.
I hate niggas too. I don't hate black men. I hate niggas. I hate niggas and I hate some of the police.
I don't hate nothing. I understand that it's good and bad in situations.
Y'all never been pulled over though. That's what I'm saying.
I have been pulled over. I have been cuffed. I was the only chick in the car. She cuffed me before she cuffed anybody else. Y'all think like y'all the only people who had experience because y'all more boisterous about it. I just said I got held at gunpoint by a black person. Should I hate all black people? You're not the only people that experience stuff. I just don't carry that to every situation with me.
I mean, we keep on having repeatedly. What happens to feel?
Who?
If they keep on happening repeatedly, how supposed to feel about it?
Life, everything that happens in your life, you're gonna feel a way about it. But you gotta keep. And I know if I was a threat to somebody, and you said just hope it ain't y'all. If I was a threat to somebody, if my daughter became a threat to somebody, my son a threat to somebody, I know that consequences come behind the things that I do. Lord forbid she put herself in a situation like that. Yes, that mother is mourning. But if my child is in that situation and she encountered the law and she's a threat, I know stuff gonna come behind it. I'm not exempt from it like none of us are.
Oh, my thing is this. If I get pulled over, my license, my registration, my insurance, everything legit, I should have to be handcuffed outside for an hour in the cold, snowing.
We all agree with that.
Huh?
Everybody up here agree with that.
We all agree.
That's all I'm saying. But they happen repeatedly though. Oh, you ain't the right person. We will let you go. I'm like, nigga, I told you that.
So like they said, maybe you want to start filing reports and get in the system.
Have you ever filed a report?
What that's gonna do? Throw that shit in the garbage.
I went to file a report one time and they laughed at me.
You know what I'm saying? See, it's a waste of time.
And that's on my grandma.
Right. Let me ask, because Billy, you got questions and I'm gonna answer it for you. How would I feel if it was my daughter? I think I just explained that. If my daughter was a threat, if she was that 15-year-old girl, Lord forbid. See, I take, it's the logic, then it's the emotion behind me. If my daughter was out there 15 years old, waving a knife, and the police encountered her and she was shot, I'm gonna be pained by that. But I know that actions come with consequences. I'm not exempt from it. I wouldn't have been like, oh, she was a threat. It'd have been a sad situation, but Lord forbid. At the end of the day, if it was mine, it'd be the same thing. I'd be mourning like her mama. What else could you do? She posed a threat and they had a job to do. I'm not exempt from it. I can feel a way and I'm be emotional about it, but what was their job and what was the situation? We can all sit up here and say what we wouldn't do or what we shouldn't do because we ain't in that position. So if it was one of y'all kids, I mean, you'll feel bad about it, but everything comes with consequences.
Agree. Just don't shoot my son 4 times. I'm sorry.
If your son is a threat,
that 4 times, yeah, 4 times.
It could have been
tackle him or something. You gotta shoot 4 times.
If it was
tackle that person.
Don't shoot my son 4 times.
Cause I'm like, damn, 4 times.
That one shot,
I kind of
probably wouldn't have killed her. That one shot probably wouldn't have killed her.
The one shot would have let her down for a minute, and you would have got on top of her, boom, boom, handcuffed. 4 times though.
Y'all talking about woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Okay, if it was my son, don't shoot him.
Don't shoot our kids. Don't shoot us. That's all we saying. We killing us.
Tackle the shit out of them. That's all you got to do.
We ain't even talking that situation different than the ones we've been seeing for the past 100, 200 years. Just quit killing us. That's all. That's the biggest reform you can have is quit killing me. Let me have my day in court.
You'll never see a white man get killed though.
Don't kill me. Just let me have my day in court.
Hell, and the white people, the one go off on the police.
Yeah,
like
they scared of them though.
They go crazy.
They don't.
7 people in the church, but he get unharmed to get arrested.
The whole thing is, we know as Black people, we know how a lot of people feel about us, but at the same time, you don't have a license to keep killing us. And I ain't talking about the little girl. That's a messed up situation. I feel bad on both ends. But these other situations, just quit killing us. Like when we comply, we dead. When we don't comply, we dead. So it's like give us no hope. They give these kids no hope when someone comply, they still get killed. So that's the thing. That's the biggest reform. That's the biggest bridge we can do is stop killing us. Yeah, you can say Black people need to stop killing each other. We need to. But when you getting paid and you on a job and you in a neighborhood where you ain't never grew up in or never been affiliated with before or never dealt with a certain type of people, you ain't got to kill us and you ain't got to kill our kids either. And that's the thing too. Like Corey said, it's a whole bunch of lame ass officers, which it is. A whole bunch of punks who want to fight and want to use their authority. Them the cops we don't want.
Right.
Well, y'all, we rolling up on any final thoughts?
And be safe out there, man. Just comply. Be good. What?
He done turned the damn music on. Hold tight.
My bad. Say, hey, be safe.
Dawson, Liz, Kenny.
We gotta come together.
I mean, I did that, and I mean, I had bad luck with it. So maybe it'd be different with y'all or something. I don't know.
Like Hannah said, change starts with us. We just gotta educate ourselves, and also cops gotta be held accountable for their actions. But it starts with us. Like your sister said,
they pension away.
We on the perfect platform to educate others and get the message out there. So that's it for me.
Agreed.
Liz, Kenny, Tania.
I'll just say prayers to both families, everyone involved. I'll just leave it at that because my comments may take us to another 30, 45 minutes. So I'll just say that. Prayers, shout out to all the good cops. Prayers to all the good cops. We need more citizens from our community applying to be cops. They need to raise the pay. So the ones that do look like us can be the ones to police us more versus the ones that's outside our communities. Raise the requirements, like I said last week, to having to be a city resident for X amount of time to be an eligible cop in that city you policing. So yeah, just some of those police reform things like that, I think, is a start with changing the requirements to the community policing.
Liz?
I just want to say, same thing, comply. We know that change is coming, but is it going to be good change or bad change? And I think that we as a community is the one who decides that. So it's not all on the police. It's not all on us. We got to somehow bridge the gap. That's it.
For me, it's just to all the bad cops. Like, I just feel like reform starts with more of a thorough background search on, background check on cops who ain't from the community, but also not just cops. It's cops who grew up in the community that, like Corey said, that are lame and stuff like that. You need to ask, what is their real motive of being a cop? And they should have to be like on a probationary period when they are hired for a while too. But at the same time, in our communities, these kids only know what they know, and you got to reach them first. So we got to reach the kids like people reached us when we was little, and you got to teach them.
I got a quick question. Tania, you say your ex he a cop now?
He's in training.
So I'm saying, all right, that's all I want to know.
Yeah, so pretty much, man.
We're doomed this shit.
To bridge the gap in our communities, we got to hold the politicians accountable. We got to hold, and one thing for I don't see that type of stuff in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So like, we happy we don't see that here, but as a totality of a country, like once these kids start seeing that there are a lot of good cops, and it was a messed up story because Corey said, I think it was Corey or Twan said they was going to a scene and the kids were shooting fake guns at them. And, it's a messed up situation. Corey got a son, Tawanda got kids. So like, they the good cops. We need the bad cops to take a step off. And pretty much that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Drake, we can't keep sitting back waiting on some people who don't care about us to make change for us. We got to start for us. And I think in my whole conversation, again, it's that good and bad piece for me, but it always starts within. I know we have to go outside our homes to interact, but what we teaching inside definitely makes an impact on how our kids operate when they go outside the world. If they feel that hate, if they carry it with them, if they already have a thought in their head about who people are, they're already going to walk up tense and have this attitude like, F them. So we just got to be mindful of what we teaching. We've made some strides, but we got a long way to go. But again, I don't want to lead with hate. It's just too much of a burden for me. I don't want to carry that with me. It's good and bad people. And as I encounter them, that's when I make the judgment on them. I can't control anything nobody do. I can go out tomorrow and be riding cop or civilian and get shot. I can't control that. I only control what I need to do to get home to my family. So with that being said, another good conversation. Don't forget to send in y'all topics, y'all stories. We still ain't got no tea. We got merch, we got t-shirts. Again, send in your topics, send in your stories, get merch from Black Combos, and we'll see y'all again on Sunday. We out.
Hey yo, hold on. Everybody don't go out on, what is it, Tuesday? It's supposed to be 80 something.
Oh, COVID.
Let's still social distance. Let's still act like we got some sense. I got a feeling Tuesday gonna be like 4th of July out here. Lord.
Well, I didn't even.
What is it gonna be Tuesday?
Supposed to be like 82, 83 or something.
Y'all stay safe.
Man, I wanted to throw the shorts on that day.
Oh God.
Okay, wait.
Y'all wanna go? Y'all wanna hit Bella out up?
All right, y'all. We out.
No.
See y'all.
See ya.